first of all, we have happily ever after. Happily ever after is usually how every fairy tale ends, okay? In a fairy tale, usually the prince and the princess get married, have children, and they live happily ever after, okay? So basically, that's how a fairy tale ends. Then we have falling in love. Falling in love, well, I think everybody knows what this is, but falling in love is a state. It involves many feelings, and it's when two characters uh, fall in love with each other, feel love, feel empathy, feel respect for one another, and they want to be together. That is what falling in love means. Then we have Prince Charming. Prince Charming is the name of Cinderella's prince, but it also refers to every prince that exists on fairy tales and who come rescue the princess, and they are like, wow, okay? That is what Prince Charming's role is in most fairy tales. Then we have Once Upon a Time. Once Upon a Time is the opposite of Happily Ever After because Once Upon a Time starts the fairy tale. It doesn't end it, but it starts. Usually, a fairy tale like Cinderella or Shrek starts with Once Upon a Time in a faraway castle, okay? So that phrase, Once Upon a Time, begins a fairy tale or a story. Then we have Fairy Godmother. Fairy godmother is a person or a godmother in this case who has fairy powers. So she uses magic to help people. In this case, this fairy godmother is Cinderella's. So the magic she has, she uses it to help her transform her dress, and she helps her go to the ball and meet Prince Charming, okay? But there are characters who have magic and who help the principal or the main character in this case. Then we have a wand. A wand is the tool they use, like this one that the fairy godmother is holding. And this is what they use to transmit magic to the characters. Okay. Then we have an ogre. An ogre is basically Shrek, okay? An ogre is a fictional character who is super ugly and who lives in a swamp and who it's meant to scare people, okay? We all know that Shrek wasn't the case. He doesn't scare us, but that is what an ogre means. They are usually green, okay, because of the swamp they live in. And okay, so that is an ogre. Then we have a giant. A giant, it's a huge character. They are usually mean, they're usually angry, and they are usually the villains in the story. But we also have stories where the giant is a good person, right? So a giant is basically a huge character, a big person who is a fictional character also because we don't see giants here on Earth. So probably happens on a faraway land. Then we have a hero or a heroine. Heroine is the female word for hero, all right? So hero is masculine, heroine is female, and they basically save people or save the world from a chaos or from a dangerous situation, right? And they save the day in the end. A hero or a heroine would be Superman, it would be Superwoman, Catwoman, okay? There are many different types of heroes. Then we also have dwarf. A dwarf, okay? Dwarfs are basically small fictional characters like the ones that appear on Snow White's fairy tale. All of these little guys are dwarfs, right? Then we have a swamp. A swamp, as you see, it has green water and I don't know, like smelly. It's a smelly place, and they usually appear in fairy tales, and it is where Shrek or the ogres live. Okay, they live in a swamp. It is a place surrounded by water and by trees, and it is usually placed as a dangerous place in the stories. Okay, and then we have crush. Crush is basically when you like somebody. Okay, imagine I like a boy, and I say, okay, that guy is my crush. Or a boy likes a girl, and he says, she is my crush. Like, for example, in Cinderella, Cinderella had a crush on Prince Charming. Okay, since she saw him, she had a crush on him. And that's basically what crush means. When you like someone, when you are attracted to someone. Okay, you can say he or she is your crush, or that you have a crush on him or her. Okay, so we have a character. A character is a person, an animal, or even an idea or anything that takes part of a story. Okay, so for example, on Disney and Pixar movies, we have lots of characters. Mike Wazowski, we have Dory, we have Joy, we have Mr. Incredible. Okay, those are characters. Some are main characters who are the principal in the story, and some of them are secondary characters. And of course, we have the antagonists or the villains in the story, which are also characters. Okay, we have a stepmother. Stepmother is a person who takes the role of a mother, but who is not biological or directly you're related to you mother, right? So for example, in Cinderella, the father of Cinderella got married to a woman who is not biologically Cinderella's mother, so she becomes a stepmother. Okay, then we have stepsisters. It's exactly the same thing when they are not your blood brothers or sisters, and they usually come within another marriage. Like, for example, when Cinderella's father got married to this woman, the girls that this woman had became the stepsisters of Cinderella. Okay, they were not biologically related, but they lived all together and it was a new marriage, so they automatically become stepsisters. Okay, then we have an enchantment. Okay, an enchantment is an action that uses magic. Okay, so for example, the fairy godmother of Cinderella used an enchantment to transform the pumpkin into a very nice transportation. Okay, and she told Cinderella the enchantment is over at 12 a.m. at night. Okay, so this is basically an enchantment. And we also have a curse. Okay, a curse is, for example, the one that Princess Fiona had, that every day at 7 p.m., she transformed into an ogre and she stopped being a princess. And this curse could only be broken when she found the true love's kiss, okay, or her true love. So in this case, it was Shrek, and she decided to stay as an ogre, right? And then we have a prophecy. A prophecy is basically seeing or knowing something is going to happen in the future, and it actually becoming true. All right. So that is what a prophecy is.